Introduction of The Dawn and the Day. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Dawn and the Day by Henry Thayer Niles. Introduction. The golden age when men were brothers all, the golden rule their law and God their king, when no fierce beasts did through the forests roam, nor poisonous reptiles crawl upon the ground, when trees bore only wholesome luscious fruits, and thornless roses breathed their sweet perfumes, when sickness, sin, and sorrow were unknown, and tears but spoke of joy too deep for words, when painless death but led to higher life, a life that knows no end, in that bright world whence angels on their ladder Jacob saw, descending, talk with man as friend to friend. That age of purity and peace had passed, but left a living memory behind, cherished and handed down from sire to son through all the scattered peoples of the earth, a living prophecy of what this world, this sad and sinful world, might yet become. The Silver Age, an age of faith, not sight, came next, when reason ruled instead of love, when men as through a glass but darkly saw what to their fathers clearly stood revealed in God's own light of love illumined truth, of which the sun that rising paints the east, and whose last rays with glory gild the west, is but an outbirth. Then were temples reared, and priests mid clouds of incense sang his praise, who out of densest darkness called the light, and from his own unbounded fullness made the heavens and earth and all that in them is. Then landmarks were first set, lest men contend for God's free gifts, that all in peace had shared. Then laws were made to govern those whose sires were laws unto themselves. Then sickness came, and grief and pain attended men from birth to death, but still a silver light lined every cloud, and hope was given to cheer and comfort men. The Brazen Age, brilliant but cold, succeeds. This was an age of knowledge, art, and war, when the knights errant of the ancient world, adventures seeking, roamed with brazen swords, which by a wondrous art, then known, now lost, were hard as flint and edged to cut a hair, or cleave in twain a warrior armor clad, and armed with shields adorned by Vulcan's art, wonder of coming times and theme for bards. Then science searched through nature's heights and depths. Heaven's canopy thick set with stars was mapped, the constellations named, and all the laws searched out that guide their motions, rolling sphere on sphere. Then men by reasonings piled up mountain high thought to scale heaven and to dethrone heaven's king, whose imitators, weak with quips and quirks and ridicule, would now destroy all sacred things. This age great Homer and old Hesiod sang, and gods they made of hero, artist, bard. At length this twilight of the ages fades, and starless night now sinks upon the world, an age of iron, cruel, dark, and cold. On Asia first this outer darkness fell, once seat of paradise, primordial peace, perennial harmony, and perfect love. A despot's will was then a nation's law, an idol's car crushed out poor human lives, and human blood polluted many shrines. Then human speculation made of God a shoreless ocean, distant, waveless, vast, of truth that sees not, an unfeeling love, whence souls as drops were taken back to fall, absorbed and lost, when, countless ages past, they'd complete their round as souls of men, of beasts, of birds, and of all creeping things. And even worse, the cruel iron castes, one caste too holy for another's touch, had every human aspiration crushed, the common brotherhood of man destroyed, and made all men but Pharisees or slaves. And worst of all, and what could even be worse, woman, born of man's bone, flesh of his flesh, the equal partner of a double life, who in the world's best days stood by his side to lighten every care and heighten every joy, and in the world's decline still clung to him, she only true when all beside were false, when all were cruel, she alone still kind, light of his hearth and mistress of his home, sole spot where peace and joy could still be found. Woman herself cast down, despised was made, slave to man's luxury and brutal lust. Then war was rapine, havoc, needless blood, infants impaled before their mothers' eyes, women dishonored, mutilated, slain, parents but spared to see their children die. Then peace was but a faithless, hollow truce, with plots and counterplots, the dagger's point and poisoned cup instead of open war, and life a savage, grim conspiracy of mutual murder, treachery and greed. O dark, cruel age! O cruel creeds! O cruel men! O crushed and bleeding hearts, that from the very ground in anguish cry, "Is there no light, no hope, no help, no God?" End of introduction. Reading by Scott Robbins.